getting a new little love interest.
A little squeezy squeeze. She's actually incredible. The girl that plays Andy, her name is Andy Starr. I love saying her name.
Such a reporter name.
Damon's like kind of proud of it. There's a line where Alara comes to the Salvatore house. I just realized I'm in this like whole period, slick down, very different.
You look very dapper.
Alara comes. Thank you. Alara comes to the Salvatore house, and Andy's sort of leaving after the walk of shame, and she's obviously got a little scarf around her neck because Damon's been munching on her, and she leaves, and Alara was sort of blown away, and Damon goes, Andy Starr, Action News. And Alara sits there and he's like, dude, they don't call it Action News. Damon goes, I don't know, I just like saying it. He just likes she's compelled to do whatever Damon says, but she's so quick, and she's so witty, and she's so funny, and she's a woman, she's a journalist, she's a reporter, she's not, so she adds this sort of older element to it, and she's really fast with Damon, and she happens to be a good friend of mine, and her boyfriend in real life is one of my closest brothers in the world. So we have this really great connection. And then we sort of joke with him like, ha, we just had to make out. And it's always so funny because he's like, ha, because he lives in Haiti. He's like building schools and hospitals and stuff like that.
And you're like, we're making out with vampire fangs.
It was just funny. But, yeah, it's cool, man. I mean, Kevin said it. He said, listen, I bet that's Nina.
The heels.
Kevin said, he said, people in Mystic Falls are going to start questioning, Damon is this sort of very eligible bachelor. He's a sort of upstanding citizen in town. Upstanding. And people are going to start questioning if he never has a date. And
except for all these high school girls.
yeah, right. But she's kind of this. She's kind of this beard. It's like sexy ass journalist beard. You guys could be.
Thanks.
And it's really cool because Damon, the way that these characters are written together, it's just really funny and witty, and they just fire back at each other. And even under her compulsion, she's still, you see her sometimes think about, why the hell did I just say that? Because your mind just says, I have to do this. But subconsciously, something's off. I've never actually been compelled as a character, but I see it often, and I see what Damon does. But it's just so much fun. And on my birthday, we had that, scene where I remember reading the script going, really? It was this girl and Damon taking a bubble bath together, like drinking wine by candlelight. And Damon has this sort of, not cathartic breakdown, but he says to her, he explains to her the way he's feeling. And it's kind of tragic that Damon, the only way he can express himself to anyone is if he puts them under his compulsion, where they are actually his sort of droids, if you will. And that's the only time he can actually, like an alcoholic, the only time they feel good is when they're drinking or when they're talking to the bartender. That's when they're the most open. And then there's something very sad about that. There's something very, there's so many components that are missing in that as a normal sort of healthy life. And Damon is starting to express himself, but only to these people who can't understand what he's saying. So he's getting it off of his chest, but yet it's really kind of going nowhere. It's sort of like screaming into a valley. You may hear your echo, but no one else is hearing it. Mm-hmm. And it's really cool. I'm digging it. He's not so vulnerable that he's, but he is starting to feel, and he's starting to sort of really starting to piss him off. And these sort of outlets that he's using is bringing someone under this compulsion and actually telling them how he feels. It's sort of like what he did with Elena when he said, I love you. She didn't know.
Yeah.
So it's